will you be my representation if I go to court?
We had a hurricane, Category 5, got our 2 babies. My wife's there. She's just giving birth, right? We had a great time.
I just thought that was something that 6-year-olds played. I didn't realize that my grown adult friend Rob had one.
How do we make it that our marriages are not just boring? Welcome to the Grace Marriage Podcast. I'm Brad Rhoads.
And I'm Marilyn Rhoads. We're here to help you build a marriage that's stronger, more connected, and full of grace.
I'm Rick Dayton, joining Brad and Marilyn as we bring you weekly conversations designed to inspire and equip you to live intentionally in your marriage.
We'll share practical tips, powerful stories, and strategies to help you and your spouse grow closer and thrive together.
So whether you're just starting out or have been married for years, there's always room to grow. Let's do this together. This is the Grace Marriage Podcast.
This is Brad Rhoads with the Grace Marriage Podcast, here with 3 good friends, Rob, Caleb, and Trey. And today we're going to be talking about boredom. Trey, I know
I was going to say.
you're not a big fan of boredom.
I'm not.
I hate boredom.
No.
I mean, if it's boring, we need to do something. I'd rather be miserable than bored sometimes.
I agree with that.
So, but one of the big things plaguing marriage is people see marriage as what? Boring. Dating's this fun flurry. You settle into marriage and it's boring. And then when people think of marriage in society, they don't think, oh, fun. I mean, how many people think of marriage and fun in the same sentence?
Mm-hmm.
I do. But the question is, how do we
Set himself up.
Yeah, I do that. I put myself right on the tee, but the question becomes, how do we make it that our marriages are not just boring?
I mean, it's intentionality. It's putting effort into it and being creative and thinking. We mentioned before, my wife and I love premarital counseling that we do. And we see these couples that are getting ready to be married, that have thriving dating relationships, good communication. And we tell them in like our second session, this is the best you're ever likely to do in your rest of your marriage at dating and having fun. And we don't tell them that to be depressing. We tell them that to be on guard, because if you're not intentional, that's the road you're going to go down very, very quickly. And so many people, I think, experience that in their marriage. And the intentionality of taking time and being creative and thinking about things that you did when you were engaged, when you were first dating, especially from the husband's perspective, we're so bad at just stopping all of that once we get married.
Marilyn told me, she looked me in the eye and said, you were great at dating. She goes, you are terrible at being married. I mean, so it was like, she said it was literally like the fire hose just got shut off. She said fun, unpredictability, creativity, nothing. And it was tough. It was tough. So Caleb, seemed like you're being kind of boring so far.
I was just going to say, the thing that I would imagine keeps things really percolating in the Pierce household is those luscious lips you got going on right
I just
there.
put some Carmex on.
Is that what that is?
They're shiny.
I ran
The thing
earlier.
that keeps the Pierce household going is Pierce is a excellent cook. And how many smokers do you have?
Well, I have 8 grilling / smoking devices.
Which one's your favorite?
That would be my Old Country Brazos offset smoker.
Yes.
So
I knew Robert.
The most recent edition, is it not? No,
not anymore. Not anymore. But that's the brisket one.
It's solidified our friendship even more when Rob gets rear-ended and gets a dent in his car, and he's thankful because he doesn't have to fix his car and buys a $2,300 smoker.
That's exactly right. I went and got a Kamado Joe Big Joe 3 with all the fixins when I should have gotten my fender fixed.
Yeah, it's like, Rob, I don't care about my fender. I care a lot a lot the smoke.
Yes.
So I call her, how are you doing? He's like, I'm great.
I'm great.
Somebody just hit me and gifted me
Exactly.
a smoker.
I was so happy.
Hey, but you know, your grilling journey has been not boring, right? So
No, it's been
tell us about
So
how you started off.
I've always loved it, and then COVID took it to a whole nother level because we're working from home, and Karen and I, my wife, we called it grill and chill time. And so it was encouraging to me to find different things to make each night, and we still do it. We probably several times a week, winter, summer, doesn't matter. And that's our time. It's amazing the communication we have during that time. And the kids know, they can come out and ask us questions, but they don't bother us during that time. We're hanging out, we're talking, and, sometimes we have a beverage, sometimes we're just sitting around talking. It doesn't really matter. It's just a lot of fun with no pressure.
It's not great for your health. I mean, like Rob calls me and says, I've got a new hobby. Making my own ice cream.
Yes.
I'm now stuffing my own brats. You've never called and said, wow, I've been making my own organic turkey.
That's true.
I have a great recipe for broccoli.
But it makes it less boring.
Sure.
When you don't know what you're
broccoli?
unpredictability.
Smoke anything.
Tell everybody your how you started on the grill with your first grill experience once you and Karen got married.
Okay, so the very
that
first
story.
so Karen's parents bought us a propane Kenmore gas grill from Sears. So we got married in the year 2000, and I didn't know anything about grilling at the time. So we lived in Lexington, Kentucky, moved to our second apartment. I opened the grill, I put it together. And I've always seen people use charcoal in grills. I thought, well, I need to use charcoal in this grill. So I loaded up a propane gas grill with charcoal, and I grilled with it.
The hybrid.
And it worked great for that particular cook. But after that, I didn't realize you're not supposed to put charcoal in a gas grill, and dearly paid the consequences. I've melted siding on 3 different houses. So 2 rentals and 1 that we've owned. I've come a long way since those early days.
You're in the same club with Maryland because we've moved our house. We have a gas oven. In Maryland, the thing under it, Maryland thought was storage. So she put all the plastic tops that we had in our home under it. So she turned on the gas oven, comes back out, and flames are pouring out from under. This is the first meal she's ever made me. And we were blessed because as a wedding present, somebody, and this is a good idea for wedding present, gave us a big fire extinguisher.
That's a good idea.
Boom. So how many people can say the first meal your wife cooked for you, she burned the kitchen?
She burned it, almost burned your house down.
Literally.
Wow.
So, but I do think a lot of it's unpredictability.
Sure.
I mean, predictability is boring. Like we ask people today, well, it just gets boring going to dinner and a movie. Well, why do you have to go to dinner and a movie every time?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it's creativity, it's spontaneity, and it's in everything. Creativity in communication, creativity in sex, creativity in everything. But what happens is people get tired, they get busy, and they just get into the routines, and it's just like Groundhog Day in marriage.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like people don't even want to get up and do it again. So, Mr. Pippen, I know you are not a fan of boredom.
No, I'm not.
So, how do you battle boredom in the Pippen home?
I battle boredom all the time. All the time.
Successfully or unsuccessfully?
Most of the time unsuccessfully to my standards. Now, my wife has told me many times that my standards on boredom are not fair because most people don't feel the way that I feel about being bored. Because truly, I mean, it's a black hole with me. There's no level of like social interaction that's enough where I feel satisfied. I'll sometimes be lamenting. Maddie will say, "What's wrong with you? We haven't been with our friends. We haven't done anything. We haven't gone out anywhere with people." And she said, "We literally went out to dinner last night with about 8 people."
You're a people addict.
I know, it's true. But yeah, boredom for us, it's always present. My daughter now has started saying this phrase that I use and Maddie uses. We say, we got to get out of this house. We got to get out of this house. So now our daughter will look at us and say, we got to get out of this house. So we like to be on the run. We like to be out doing stuff, just keeping things interesting. But the spontaneity is a huge part of what keeps things fun, I think.
And a lot of it's learning your spouse. I mean, because like some spouses hate spontaneity. Like when we first got married, Marilyn loved surprises.
Yeah.
So we just like, hey, we're going here. Like I surprised her. We recreated our first date and she loved it. Then we started having kids and I surprised her and she goes, never do that to me again.
The same experience.
So it's like, and you got to remember there's benefits of boredom too. So it's like, so the boredom is a gift because it's time when you think and come up with creative ideas. So you're not going to be bored. So you almost have to be bored not to be bored. You got to have time where you're just alone, thinking and hearing from God to come up with cool creative ideas to implement on other people, to love them and bring about. So times of silence are huge. For me, a game changer in our marriage has been take about 5 or 10 minutes in the morning and say, Lord, give me wisdom on how to creatively love Marilyn today. Give me 1 or 2 things. And God always does. And it keeps our marriages from being boring. Now, it's hard for me to have like Trey. It's hard to be, that's why it's good that we were sitting together on the plane.
Yeah.
And Rob put his earbuds in and started playing.
Quickly.
I
I put them in.
quickly, it just started playing video games.
We had been
which
we
video
had
games
been together for 5 straight days, and I just needed silence.
Yeah, well, I just needed video games because wives loves it when their husbands play a lot of video games.
They do.
It's like, yeah. So he's so good at Fortnite.
So as an example, on that particular trip, we have the back row of the plane. Brad's seat gets reassigned. It's supposed to be Trey, Brad, and me on the back row. And we get back there, and the stewardess says, "Oh, there's an empty seat between you." I was like, "Sweet, 4-hour flight. We have an empty seat between us." And Trey says, "I'm gonna go tell Brad. He can sit back here." I said, "Trey, we have an empty seat." But he went up and got Brad, and I was glad to have you sitting next to me. But I did have the option for an empty seat.
I feel like Trey was more glad that I was there than Rob did.
Probably so.
Probably.
Because Rob's video gaming is not so interesting to me if I don't get to play.
I had downloaded Prince of Persia over the summer, hadn't had a chance to play it.
Hey, but it was a Switch. You could have handed me the other controller. We would have been all set.
That would have been about you, not me.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Mhm.
You were on a Switch?
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were just on your phone.
Oh, you like Switch?
No.
Then
He
why-
really perked up.
Why'd you seem so interested in Switch?
I thought that was something.
You're on a Switch? Why, you like Switch? No.
Piece of fuzz. I just thought that was something that 6-year-olds played. I didn't realize that my grown adult friend Rob had one.
You should have seen his gaming glasses and his gaming headphones and his gaming sock hat.
Did you have a chair, like
Yeah.
a special chair you
But
said?
what did Scripture say? Come like children.
Mm-hmm.
And what do children do? Play video games.
Play video
Play
games.
into the
It's
Switch.
not that.
So Rob's
exactly right.
Perfectly.
biblical.
Do what I can.
But in all seriousness, like try to keep some life in your marriage. I mean, because otherwise, life will just become this big responsibility. Just paying the bills, doing this, doing that. Just think of each category, like communication, physical intimacy, and we'll start with communication. How do you make communication with your spouse less boring? How do you make it that your wife actually looks forward to, likes talking to you, and doesn't find you to be a boring human being?
To me, it's giving her the first fruits of something cool that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have a really good day at work or a great story to tell, the first time you tell that story, you're excited about it. You have the most energy. You can't wait to do it. Telling Karen first, I think, is a big thing, instead of telling a coworker or a friend or anything like that, and making sure that she gets the full story. Because a lot of times when I get home from work, I don't want to talk. I'm tired. I've been talking to people all day. I just want to sit there. But making sure that she gets the full version of me and not the leftover after work version of me, it makes a huge difference.
And the least boring people are the most curious people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're the people that are really, and the most curious people ask the most questions.
Mm-hmm.
And we had somebody on our podcast who wrote a book called The Magic of Curiosity. So when you ask your spouse questions about their life and you're really interested, you're not boring. Because who do people like? Whoever's most interested in them, whoever wants to hear them talk, who's fascinated by them. So to keep communication really alive, just ask your spouse a lot of questions and a lot of follow-up questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember my father-in-law, he wasn't a big talker. He was more like a Potter type, you know, kind of a dignified guy.
You have been identified now. You're never getting out of this.
Mm-mm.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, let your words be what?
He's like, okay.
Boom. See, you got it. But my father-in-law was not a talker, but dude loved Corvettes. And so I just asked him, we'd be driving the road and I'd say, what year is that Corvette? Well, that's a 64. I could have bought one of those and I just missed the opportunity. We just ask questions, but it's just, if you find the area of interest of your spouse and you ask them questions in that area of interest, you notice we started talking about cooking and we brought up with Rob, I mean, the words started to flow.
Yeah.
When you talk about cooking, Rob starts to cook.
I thought that was going to happen with the Switch. Caleb got so excited.
He did
about
get
that.
shut down
And they
so
said,
fast.
oh, that's just what kids do.
Well, all right. Not that you asked me or wanted my input on any of this, apparently, but I will give you
I was
this.
trying to bait you to finally.
Oh, we definitely want your input. We just can't get you to give it.
So, okay, so like, let's say on the dating aspect, you know, you say like, you don't always have to go to a dinner or movie. Even if that is the plan, there are elements of that you can tweak that will be adventurous. So we had a guy from church say, hey, if you ever wanted to borrow our Corvette or my Corvette
Do you have a
to go
Corvette?
out on a date, you would be welcome to. I said, okay, I logged that away in my mind. And so one time Jessica and I were going out on a date and it was just going to be dinner and a movie. But we went and got a Corvette and we zipped around town and that's what we drove to our stuff. It was awesome. And we were both on cloud nine. So even if you are doing somewhat typical date stuff, there's elements of it that you can really spice up.
How fast did you get in the Corvette that wasn't yours?
Sheesh. This is going to be incriminating. Will you be my representation if I go to court?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, about 90
About 90.
on Burloo.
On
That's
Burloo.
That's a 30,
Burloo.
That's a 35.
Wow.
Yes, it is.
That is incriminating.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're gonna.
We blur my face out.
Yeah. I'm sure it's like, oh, we found a guy that sped 7 years ago. Let's try to find him. I think they probably got more pressing matters, Potter. But that's okay.
They caught the tater.
But it's like even restaurants. Just say if you go out to eat, and you don't have to go out to eat because dating doesn't have to be expensive. And I know Rob and I are on the frugal side. You've become less frugal lately.
Less
I've
frugal
noticed
than I
that.
used to be,
I
yes.
noticed that. But like, just say we're going to go to 12 different restaurants. We've not eaten at for the next 12 weeks, and it can be a fast food place. I mean, you may have never eaten at Rally's, but just mixing it up
And order something that you would not typically order.
If-
Like on our trip, we forced each other to kind of order something outside of our comfort zone. We paid the price for it, but it was awesome, made for a good story.
You
It
paid
was
the
adventurous. I paid for it. You didn't necessarily pay for it. I paid the ultimate price, me and the toilet. But
What are you talking about?
the Hattie B's chicken that we had in the airport.
Well, that's just because you got the cuss word hot.
In the
I got-
Nashville airport right before a
I
4-hour
got the
flight.
regular hot. You got the cuss word hot.
right?
But we both upgraded one. But yeah, it did make
I'm
it.
saying that was adventurous.
It made it
Do
more-
that in your marriage.
It made it more entertaining. But it is one of the big problems with marriage, and the reason our younger people aren't typically drawn to marriage is because it looks boring.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I want to go do that? I mean, they're having fun in dating. They're looking at everybody in marriage looking boring, and say, oh, let's go be bored. You know, it's almost like let's close the fun chapter. And let's spend the rest of our life being bored. But that's not the way God intended marriage. I mean, intended marriage to be a radical display of sacrifice, grace, creativity, love, boom, and just enjoying it. So I think part of it too is investing money in your marriage. So earlier in our marriage, I was more boring than I should because I was not willing to invest any resources into my marriage. So if we dated, you know, I just brew a pot of coffee, go down to the river, sit down, and our total date cost is $1.50. And we traded babysitters, which is a place for that if you've got no money. But when I had some resources, I saw it as an expense, you know. But I want to lavish Marilyn with love. I want to show her that like she's the most important thing to me. She's the quickest place, and I'm gonna drop some cash.
Sure.
But guys oftentimes don't do that. And a buddy of mine told me, he said, Brad, you are more generous with everybody else in the world than you are your own wife.
Not an expense. They're an investment. It's something that you're investing in eternally.
So that's nice.
Thank you.
Caleb. Trey is conservative, tries to save money, but will not hesitate to spend money on experience and fun.
That's true.
I mean, it's like
That's true.
It's like, you know, I'm gonna really try to get a good deal, but I'm gonna do as much as I can, and I'm not gonna spend a little.
Yeah, I'm trying to plan a trip secretly right now, actually, just for Maddie and I. But she's going to be like 34 weeks pregnant. I'm trying to decide whether or not she would actually just be miserable. The answer is probably yes, but we're probably still going. I don't know. We'll just see.
You probably shouldn't take her too far.
No, you're probably right.
You
You know
probably
where I shouldn't take her? Burloo Boulevard.
Yeah, and nor
People are
should you
flying through there 90 mile an hour.
I'm not a doctor, but I'm guessing they don't say go above 30,000 feet when you're 34.
I don't think she's going to really be.
But
30.
I will tell
But
you this.
skydiving is at 10,000 feet.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
you're
That's all
safe.
we were
You're
doing.
fine.
We were
But-
just going to do that.
But I will tell you this: when we had our 5th kid, Marilyn actually planned the induction of Rachel
Oh, you told me this.
around our fall break. So we were induced on a Wednesday, so we could leave on a Saturday morning to take our 3-year-old to Florida.
Yeah.
And so my mom drove her to the airport with like a 7-pound baby. I drove down with 4 kids and picked her up, and it was. And
that's a
everybody
fantastic
either
story.
said that was brilliant or you're the biggest idiot I've ever met. There was no neutral. There was
Yeah.
no neutral. I mean, it's like like the trays. That's a great idea. You know, do you think it's a great idea?
Yeah, we want when our son was born, we decided that we were going to go to Disney World with about a 4-week-old baby. He had actually just gotten out of the hospital for RSV, and we're like watching the calendar, like, what are we going to do? Like, what if he's still in the hospital? We can't go on our trip. Well, he got released, and we were like, would it be okay if we travel with him? And they were like, sure. At this point, he's okay.
That's a
So-
window into Trey's world. His
Yeah.
kid has RSV, and Trey's worried about missing Disney.
Yeah, so we go. He's about 4 or 5 weeks old, and we had a hurricane while we were there, Category 5 that turned into Category 4 hurricane. We've got our 2 babies. My wife's there. She's just given birth, right? We had a great time, but I think it goes to what we're talking about. Sometimes I think you have to break up routine, because when you get in that sort of minutia of life, it can get really boring. I read something one time that talked about the reason in which people, or why people think that time is passing so quickly for them, is because they're lacking new experiences to break up the normal life.
That makes sense.
When you're a kid, it feels like everything's new, right? In your mind, you think, man, my childhood lasted this real long time. It's because you were having new experiences. But eventually, life takes those new experiences away if you're not intentional about doing new things. So that's my case for not being bored all the
I
time.
love it. It's largely why you three are three of my best friends, because you're interesting people. Like, I love that Rob loves to cook, and I love Caleb with his sharp shop and his 42 different business ideas a year.
43 now. 43.
Yes. And Trey, the Board of Education and Disney, and and it's just like when we I think God gives us desires, and Scripture says, richly enjoy all things, for His glory. And I do think God loves it when His kids have fun in a wholesome way, so it makes us more interesting people. I mean, when we just get reduced to nothing more than working, paying bills, getting the kids to bed, chasing them to sporting events, which is the subject of another very
Controversial.
It shouldn't be controversial, because it's pretty obvious once you start talking about it. But
Yes, it is.
we'll get there. Yeah, it's controversial because I guess it's controversial because your kid might not be a starter. But
Careful now.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. But in closing, just try to bring fun to your marriage. Just think of each aspect of your marriage. And here's my challenge: take 5 minutes every morning and just say, God, how can I love my spouse today in a way that they know they're loved? And if you do that every single day and carry it out, it will keep life in your marriage, and your marriage will not get boring. And it can be little stuff. I mean, one time, I was sitting in my quiet time, and I just heard Miriam complained about our mincer chopper.
Or what?
Or what?
Mincer chopper.
Mincer chopper.
Mincer chopper is a little thing that minces and chops.
Mincer/chopper.
But I didn't have to say slash.
Well, you did for us.
Well,
Okay. When she complained about her mincer
chopper.
slash
Mincer chopper.
chopper. So I just Googled best mincer chopper, and it happened to be $23 at Walmart. And I just called Matthew, my son, pick up the Ninja mincer chopper on their way home. And Miriam was like, oh, that's so sweet.
Did he have to ask you like 3 times what it was?
No.
is there a slash in there somewhere?
He's actually quicker.
He can translate.
He's actually quicker.
bread
He's actually quicker than y'all. But in all seriousness, be intentional. Keep it fun. Try to have a marriage that younger people look at and say, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's fun. Man, I can't wait to, if that's what marriage is, I can't wait to do it. Sign me up for it. Because right now we've had a decrease in the marriage rate. The good news is it's starting to increase again, but it'll increase a lot quicker if we live it out like God intended. So thanks for being part of the Grace Marriage Podcast. Remember, this stuff isn't just going to happen. Life's a whirlwind that will pull you into it, and this stuff will not just happen. That's why we have Grace Marriage. You just stop and make your marriage the center of the show for a while. So sign up for Grace Marriage, show up for your sessions. If your church doesn't have an ongoing marriage ministry, bring Grace Marriage to your church. So thank you guys for being part of the podcast.
Thanks, Brad.
What a blessing.
Thank you for joining us on the Grace Marriage Podcast. We really hope you're feeling inspired to take intentional steps to grow in your marriage.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Your support helps us spread the message of grace and reach even more couples.
And if you have a moment, please leave us a review. Your feedback means a lot to us and helps others discover the podcast.
To learn more about how you can grow in your marriage, visit us at gracemarriage.com. Keep building stronger, grace-filled marriages.
We'll see you next week on the Grace Marriage Podcast. Until then, keep growing in grace.